Greetings, heroes of Dominion. Zeus here, bringing you another enlightening video. Today, we're diving deep into one of Augustus' most electrifying abilities, Lightning Rod. In this video, I'll break down every aspect of this skill to ensure you fully understand how to use it to your advantage. My plan is to cover all of Augustus' skills in upcoming videos, each explained in detail to help you master this powerful hero. If you find this type of breakdown helpful, let me know in the comments, and I'll create similar content for the rest of Augustus' abilities. Let's take a deeper look at Augustus' Lightning Rod skill so that everyone can clearly understand how it works. This skill targets the enemy with the highest health, dealing magic damage that is calculated as 40% of the target's total health. However, there's an important limitation to note: the skill has a maximum damage cap, meaning no matter how much health the target has, the damage dealt cannot exceed a certain limit. In Augustus' case, this limit is currently set at 390,441. The way this maximum damage is calculated is by using Augustus' magic attack stat. The formula is based on 300% of his magic attack, plus an additional flat amount of 19,500. With Augustus fully developed but only at 5 stars, his magic attack is 123,000. To determine the damage, we multiply Augustus' magic attack by 3 and then add 19,500 to the result, which gives us the maximum possible damage of 390,441. This is the most damage this skill can deal, even if the target has a lot of health. Let's look at an example to explain this further. Suppose Augustus is up against an enemy with 1 million health. Normally, 40% of that health would result in 400,000 damage. However, because the skill has a cap, Augustus will only deal the maximum allowed damage of 390,441, even though the calculation of 40% would have produced a higher number. Now, let's imagine the enemy has 10 million health. In this case, 40% of that would be 4 million, but again, Augustus will only deal the maximum damage allowed by the skill, which is still capped at 390,441. In the battles I'm showcasing, you'll notice Augustus dealing 540,000 damage with his Lightning Rod skill, even though the skill description says the maximum damage is 390,000. This happens because when Augustus uses his ultimate ability, he also activates his artifact, which boosts his magic attack by 50,000. Here's how the calculation works. Augustus starts with a base magic attack of 123,000. When his artifact is activated, it adds an additional 50,000 magic attack. So, his total magic attack during this moment becomes 173,000. Since the Lightning Rod skill is based on 300% of his magic attack, you multiply the 173,000 by 3. This results in 519,000 magic damage. Finally, there's a flat addition of 19,500, which brings the total damage to around 540,000. Once Augustus reaches 6 stars, his magic attack will increase, which will also raise the maximum damage limit of this skill. This means that when fully maxed out, Augustus will be able to deal even more damage with Lightning Rod, making him an even more powerful hero. It's important to note that the only way to increase the maximum potential damage of Augustus' Lightning Rod skill is by boosting his magic attack stat. However, there is also a separate upper limit on the damage that this skill can deal, which is capped at 40% of the target's health. Let me explain this with an example involving Nebula. In this scenario, Augustus has a base magic attack of 123,000. When Nebula uses her equilibrium skill, she boosts Augustus' magic attack by an additional 173,000. On top of that, Augustus' artifact provides an extra 50,000 magic attack. So, if we take all these sources together, the total magic attack for Augustus becomes 346,000. Since the skill deals 300% of Augustus magic attack, we multiply this by 3, which gives us over 1 million potential magic damage. But here's the key point, the damage can still not exceed 40% of the target's health. To make this clearer, let's consider Jiri, an enemy with Oliver patronage. Jiri's health with Oliver is 1,539,000. If we calculate 40% of that health, we get 615,000. This means that despite the fact that Augustus could potentially deal over 1 million magic damage based on his boosted magic attack, the actual damage dealt is capped at 615,000 because that is 40% of Jiri's health. For testing purposes, I tried increasing Jiri's health by pairing her with Aiden, who provides a health boost through bonding. By increasing Jiri's health this way, the upper damage limit for Lightning Rod also increased, and Augustus was then able to deal over 800,000 magic damage. This shows how manipulating the target's health can raise the damage limit for this skill, but the hard cap of 40% of the target's health remains in place no matter how high Augustus' magic attack is. As we've mentioned before, the only way to increase the damage of Augustus' Lightning Rod skill is by increasing his magic attack. This can be done with the help of heroes like Nebula, who boosts magic attack through her equilibrium skill, or other heroes who provide magic attack artifacts, such as Celeste, Satori, Leanne, Judge, and others with similar artifacts that boost magic attack. However, it's important to understand that skills that increase magic damage rather than magic attack will not have any effect on Augustus damage. For instance, abilities like Polaris True Freeze or Merlin's Magnus Magica do not increase Augustus damage output. This is because Augustus, when fully penetrating the enemy's magic defense, converts his magic damage into pure damage. Pure damage bypasses magic resistance, and is unaffected by skills that boost magic damage. Essentially, once Augustus is dealing pure damage, magic damage buffs no longer have an effect. This situation is similar to how Heidi's damage works. Heidi's damage cannot be increased by abilities from Polaris or Merlin, because Heidi's poison and pure damage are not impacted by magic damage buffs. The only reliable way to increase the damage output of Augustus' Lightning Rod skill is by directly increasing his magic attack, either through heroes like Nebula or by supporting him with heroes that provide magic attack buffs through their artifacts. Magic damage buffs won't work on his pure damage, so focusing on increasing his magic attack stat is the key to maximizing his damage. In conclusion, Augustus' Lightning Rod is a powerful skill that can deal significant damage when used correctly, especially with the right support and artifact boosts. The key to maximizing this skill's damage is by increasing his magic attack, whether through heroes like Nebula or those with magic attack artifacts like Celeste, Satori, and others. Keep in mind that magic damage buffs won't affect his pure damage output, so focusing on enhancing his magic attack stat is the way to go if you want to unleash Augustus' full potential. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you use Augustus in your team, and what other tips would you recommend for improving his performance? Share your strategies in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more in-depth Hero Wars content. Remember, Guardians of Dominion, every battle is an opportunity to grow stronger, so keep testing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep having fun. Salute and friendship.